Hello, it's me, Doug Dunbar, aka the Whiskey Wizard. Hey, unfortunately, we aren't able to bring you the regular roundtable show we'd all planned on for tonight. However, as some consolation, we decided to still bring you this week's Whiskey Wizard and a few other tidbits. As I explained in the promos the past two shows, I wanted to do this holiday feature on the Drinks by the Dram Whiskey Advent Calendar tasting and review that I did with my son Cameron. Hopefully, I already convinced some of you to get one of these as a gift for someone on your list for Christmas and this holiday season. If not, there's always next year and perhaps a birthday or two. Anyway, let's get on with it.
Whiskey Wizard! It's the Whiskey Wizard!
Hello and welcome to the Whiskey Wizard, where we say that whiskey making takes scientific knowledge, an artisan's skill and dedication, and a bit of the wizard's alchemy of light, air, earth, and fire. In tonight's segment, we're going to take a look at a potential gift idea that you might want to consider for that whiskey lover on your holiday list. As you may recall, during last year's Holiday Gift Ideas episode, I discussed a whiskey advent calendar that my daughters got me for Christmas. While I noted that it was a bit too late for you to obtain one for Christmas 2020, I promised I'd cover it again in time for you to work toward one for the 2021 holidays in case you might be interested. Consider this a promise kept then. Last Christmas, I did enjoy the gift very much. My son Cameron and I did the 4 days of Christmas as part of our review instead of the intended 12 days, since he didn't arrive home until the evening of the 21st of December. I guess if we didn't thoroughly enjoy the gift, I wouldn't be covering it for you now, in preparation for this holiday season. The Drinks by the Dram Advent Calendar Whiskey Collection comes from Hard to Find Whiskey at www.htfw.com. Anyway, let's get right on with it now. Okay, so we have this Drinks by the Dram Advent Calendar. We're going to dig into this. Originally, it was going to be the 12 days of Christmas, but since Cameron wasn't going to arrive till today, the 21st of December, we decided to make it a 4 days of Christmas, which unfortunately means we have to try 3 every night. Darn. Okay, so let's just give this a try. So we'll start now with the. Okay, well, this isn't what I was expecting based on the back, but it's the Aerolite Lindsay, Lyndsay, 10-year-old character of the Islay Whiskey Company single malt Scotch whiskey. So I've never had this. Aerolite Lindsay. Okay. Nice gram for each of us.
Oh yeah, that's enough to taste. That's like one serving.
Yeah. I got a little on the table.
I can't taste it.
It's definitely an Islay, that's for sure.
Oh boy, yeah.
Oh, that's. What does that remind me of? It reminds me of not Lafroy.
Ardbeg.
Ardbeg, yeah.
That's what I would say.
It reminds me of Ardbeg for sure on the nose.
There could be a reason. I don't know.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not familiar. I've never even heard of this whiskey.
I'll probably do a little research for
comments. It's exciting. Really like.
Okay, that I really.
I mean, the nose is really nice. It gets sweeter as you go in.
Yeah, it's that sweet. So definitely the vanilla. So probably it's a typical
bourbon for
first fill bourbon.
For sure, bourbon.
Yeah.
Shall we?
Yeah.
Definitely tastes like 10. Really light, I feel.
So a little more oomph than the Ardbeg 10, but similar yet.
Yeah, definitely. That's the closest thing I would compare it to. But yeah, it's got a little bit more little bit more body to it. It's a little bit, it's that sweetness. Actually, you know what, that palate reminds me of the Wee Beastie. That's kind of what it tastes like. A little bit of that sweetness. It's not actually so hot. It's like a little bit of smoky, sweet, like mesquite barbecue kind of.
Definitely has a little more alcohol forward than the Ardbeg 10, but I like it. Okay, Cam. So on our 0 to 5 scale, where do you put this?
Honestly, that one, 2.5. I'd say average. I enjoyed it, but I didn't really feel like there was anything to write home about. I can think of other whiskeys that are kind of in the same world that I prefer.
Well, okay.
That's kind of my 2 cents. I enjoyed it. I definitely enjoyed it, but I wasn't like, wow, that's exceptional.
Oh yeah. No, I would agree. I just, because it is an Isla, I'm going to go with about a 3.0.
Yeah.
Just that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, that's the closest thing I would compare it to. I think really though.
So we're going to give the second one a try now. And I guess we don't know what we get till we open it up and see. Going in for the second one here. Okay. Wow. We've got for our second selection the Glenroths 12-year-old Scotch whiskey, 40% ABV.
40. That's pretty low.
Yeah, it's on the low side.
Now, obviously, I've had Glenroths before, but I've never heard of what was that? The something collection?
The Soleil. It's, of course, all hand waxed, it looks like, so. Makes them a little fun to get open, but it's also kind of a fun thing. All right, so here we go. Now, I have obviously had the Glenroths 12. 12, yeah. That's one of G's favorites, but this Soleil,
yeah, never heard of that.
It makes me think it's
some kind of a special,
where they do that's
a different finish.
Could be where they do the whole large batching. Now it looks very typical. I mean, I'm not seeing any like port or wine finish to this. So.
Yeah, it's not dark enough. But the nose is really nice, like total butterscotch.
Yeah, toffee. Almost get a little bit of tawny port on the nose.
Yeah, totally.
Okay.
Tawny port, toffee, yeah.
Very, buttery. Well, the palate, there's a lot of like a nice honey in the middle.
Yeah. It started actually, to me, it started very light. But maybe that's just because I'm coming from the Isla. But it started very light, and then the finish brought all these rich flavors. It was like it started with like just a little bit of like honeysuckle or something. Like right in the beginning, a little bit, heather, a little floral.
Heather, and then
and then a big explosion of the rich stuff, but still not too rich. Now this still is light.
I gotta say, I really like this.
Yeah, that's really good.
It's got a really nice honey character that is unique.
Even more,
it's almost like orange blossom honey or something.
Yeah. I almost would even say like nectar. Like it's not quite as rich as honey. To me, it's like a little bit lighter, but it still has those notes.
This is the second one we did. It's a Glenroths 12. So Cam, what are you going to score this one?
I mean, I really enjoyed that. I'd give that 3.75.
I'm right there with you. I'm gonna.
Just for clarification, a 4 for me is definitely like, oh, I'm gonna have to buy a bottle of this. Like,
Well, that's exactly what I'm giving it, 4.0.
Yeah.
Because I do have to buy a bottle. So for number 3, we have the McMyra Swedish single malt whiskey. Svensk Ek. Single malt. So it'll be really
interesting.
something different for sure.
Make sure.
You ready? Let's give this a try.
The finish is almost herbal.
Yeah.
And for mine, it's like, yeah, the finish is like almost, it's like a very soft gin. Almost. It's like not as herbal as gin, but
You know what I would compare this to is like a pure pot still Irish whiskey.
yeah.
It's probably got more in common with an Irish whiskey.
I mean, I confess I don't know anything about Swedish whiskey whatsoever. Yeah, the finish is like
Still getting
breathing the air of a pine forest.
Yeah. Okay,
But
I might go with you on that description.
It's not
still
heavy. It's light, but it's
still getting the malty dough on the palate, and definitely some herbal. I get some green grass, so maybe some
definitely grass, like fresh cut
light
grass.
a little bit of light fruits. I do like this, very respectable. I'm gonna be right in there about a 2.8.
Yeah.
It's okay, very good. I'm not going to jump up and down about it, but for the first Swedish whiskey I've ever had,
I mean, it's
pretty
definitely-
impressed overall.
Definitely was enjoyable. I think I'm gonna come in just below a 2.75.
Well, here we are on day 2 of our 4 days of Christmas. So let's give it a try. So. Right. So we have the Perspective Series 21-year-old Berry Brothers and Rudd blended Scotch whiskey.
Let's get to it. First one of the night.
Like that.
To me. And then the third smell I'm going in there, I'm starting to get some of that Highland notes. Yeah. Maybe Speyside. And a little bit of the, almost like reminds me of Glenmorangie a little bit.
Say this one has a contribution of Speyside.
Yeah.
Maybe some Highland,
yeah.
Like Glenmorangie. Yeah, I get a little bit of toasted malt and a little bit of oak, and
it's really subtle though. It's not a strong nose.
Ooh. It's like a butterscotch candy.
Yeah, it's very smooth.
It's quite nice. Got a great mouthfeel.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of butter. Almost like some dark fruit, like raisin. This hint of. This is one that I would, again, I could see if I was introducing somebody to Scotch whiskey.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Something like this would be, I think, ideal.
Maybe.
Cam, what are you going to score this one?
I give that a 3.5 for me. I thought that was definitely good. And really great for introducing somebody to whiskey and
Yes,
enjoyable.
very much a Scottish whiskey, but very much everything toned down. But it has a nice mouthfeel, nice richness.
Yeah.
I'm giving it. I really like that. I hope we can find more on it. I'm going to give it a 3.7.
Nice.
3.7. And we'll put this one back.
Do the next one.
So this is
Honestly.
our Tamdu 12.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah, that's like night and day for me between those two in terms of olfactory experience. It's got a rich nose, this one.
Yeah,
For sure.
toffee.
Yep. Oh yeah, man. This one now I'm getting butterscotch and toffee
A
and
little burnt. Yeah, a little bit of caramelized sugar.
Yep, exactly. Caramelized sugar. That's exactly what it is.
And it's a little bit of cookie dough.
Definitely. This is a Speyside, right? This one.
Tamdu. I believe so. Yes.
It says on our little thing. You can cheat. Take a sip. Oops. I gotta say, I think that's excellent. For a 12-year Scotch, that's pretty phenomenal. That's really excellent.
Yeah.
That's a rich, full-bodied, like, oh man.
But
Lots of lingering flavor.
yeah, full of complexity.
But no like high notes for me. Everything's kind of in this rich territory. I'm kind of curious what this
A
will
lot
taste
of-
like with water.
Yeah,
Or just a
lot of-
little touch of water.
Yeah, we don't have a drop.
I know, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It's not worth it.
I get a lot on the palate, the same as I get on the nose.
Yeah. It tastes exactly how it smells, for sure. A future episode. And you're perhaps reviewing a bottle of the Tamdu. I think that is very good. I'm ready to give that a 4, personally.
Wow. Okay.
I think that's like, wow, I'm gonna keep an eye out for that. I think I've seen this bottle. I think it's on shelves.
I think I have too.
And I just never really got it. It reminds me, the closest one I would compare it to would be a Deanston, but it tastes a lot older than it is. I think it tastes more like a 15. Like it's really got some body and character to it. I can't believe it's a 12, but that just means that's the youngest barrel that goes in there. So maybe, who knows? It could be 90%.
Well, that was a joy.
Yeah.
That was a joy. I'm with you. I'm going to give that the same score. I'm going to go with a 4.
I think.
And we'll put this one back.
It's That Boutique Tea Whiskey Company, Cole Ela 11-year-old batch 12, which makes me think this might be like a single barrel selection or something, or a small batch, some kind of something. It's normally words you hear with bourbon, not scotch.
Oh, I know.
but
Yeah.
You don't hear about a single barrel scotch very often. But it seems like
I've never heard of an 11-year-old Colila. Their standard offering is a 12, a 15, and an 18. And then they have a Distiller's Edition, which is a no age statement. I think all the Diageo Distiller's Editions are no age statement. Oh, let me rinse this out real quick.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to come into this next.
Very light. Oh, that's your Coolila.
It's gonna be pretty unmistakable. Good way to end today. I'd
Smoke,
say.
yeah, good. It was a good order today.
Oh, yeah,
perfect order.
Perfect order today.
There's your kippers and your the sea breeze and.
The thing about Colila though is it's definitely like it's smoke, but the smoke and the peat ends up it's like a little bit sweet, like
Yeah, you definitely.
it's
all
not
these are
like-
all just
it's like a little
first
bit
fill
of
bourbon.
sweetness. Yeah.
And so you always get some of that vanilla sweetness coming through. And The good, nice, briny
Yep. It's
peat.
But the thing about Colila, it's not like some Islas where it just comes up and punches you. It's like more of a warm embrace of, not
And
a bear hug. It's
like yeah, that's so cool, Colila. Just as you said, so it has a nice fullness and sweetness with still then of course that nice round amount of rounded smoke and
that's just so.
And just the kind of that peat, it has just that little bit of the oceanic bromine in there.
Yep.
And then I'm giving that a 4.1.
Yeah, I think that's definitely like. Yeah, I think I'm right with you. I think I'm going to just give that a 4. But that is really, really, really good.
Okay, I hope you liked part 1 of this holiday two-parter. Obviously, this is loads of fun and a great way to experience an array of whiskey selections. Okay, as you know, we've not had much time for the news during the last several of our live cast shows, so I thought I could run down a little bit of it just to kind of catch us up a bit, as it were. Okay, starting with the news. Redwood Empire Whiskey, hailing from Sonoma County. Each release from this California distillery is named after an iconic tree in the Redwood Empire region. Celebrating its 10th anniversary, the distillery just released its first 2 bottled and bond releases, the Rocket Top Straight Rye and a Grizzly Beast Straight Bourbon. The latter features some delicious fruity notes, raspberry and orange, and along with a little bit of nut, caramel, and brown sugar notes. Okay, Macallan has released its Harmony Collection Rich Cacao. The new limited edition release from the nearly 200-year-old Speyside distillery is both a sweet, literally, collaboration with pastry chef Jordi Roca and master chocolatier Damien Alsop. It's a new limited edition single malt that emphasizes Macallan's sustainable packaging initiative. To that end, the bottles arrive fully recyclable and biodegradable in a presentation box made using all natural byproducts in the from the chocolate making process. As for the whiskey, it sought out sherry seasoned oak casks that offered chocolate notes, and they nailed it. This is rich and indulgent cocoa delight, according to the Whiskey Advocate. Wild Turkey's Master Keep 1. It's a 6th limited edition Master Keep offering from the famed Lawrenceburg, Kentucky distillery. It represents the 2 different styles of master distiller, Eddie Russell, and his distilling legend, Father Jimmy. Here, that means a middle-aged bourbon, 8 to 10 years. I'd say that's kind of on the older side. That's Jimmy's choice, combined with a 14-year release, Eddie's choice, that are mingled together in a second maturation in especially charred new oak barrels. Garrison Brothers 2021 limited edition Cowboy Bourbon. The crafters of Texas's first legal bourbon just launched this uncut, unfiltered 131.3 proof release, which usually sells out at its initial allotment in hours. So probably not going to find that one, but that's an interesting one that's out there. And also High West has come out and released a Midwinter Nights Dram Act number 9, the 9th annual release from this Utah distillery. It's distillery's Rendezvous Rye, finished in ruby and tawny port barrels for an additional 1 to 2 years. Booker's Bourbon 2021-03 Bardstown Batch also. Barrel Bourbon came out, and these are all November releases. Barrel Bourbon Batch 031. Blue Run High Rye Bourbon, which is 111 proof, 4-year-old. And Jack Daniel's Single Barrel Special Release, Coy Hill High Proof, that is, 141 proof. Jephthah Creek Bottled in Bond Rye Bourbon, 100 proof, 75% Bloody Butcher Corn, 20% malted rye, 5% malted barley. Knob Creek Bourbon Limited Edition 15-year-old at 100 proof. Michter's 20-year bourbon at 114.2 proof. Mr. Sam Blended Whiskey, 122.6 proof, $250 a bottle. Contains Sazerac, American, and Canadian whiskeys. Rebel Reserve Single Barrel aged 12 years, 114 proof. The Untold Story of Kentucky Bourbon, chapter number 1, 98.6 proof, aged 4.5 years. This is a Castle and Key, released in partnership with Black Bourbon Guild. It's about $150 a bottle. Then Wiseman Bourbon, 90.8 proof, blend of Kentucky Owl, 4-year-old wheat and high rye bourbons, along with 5.5-year and 8.5-year-old Kentucky sourced bourbon. Whistle Pig, the Boss Hog 8, Lapu Lapu Pacific, 115.7 proof, finished in single island Philippine rum barrels. Woodford Reserve Masters Collection, number 17, 5 malt stouted mash, 90.4 proof. And Wyoming Whiskey Out Dryer is also new in just this month in November, 100 proof, and that's about $75 a bottle. So if we can get any of those out there, these are new seasonal releases, particularly for the holiday season. Macallan's will finish with A Night on Earth in Scotland. This is a great single malt to have for the new year. It's no age statement, just came out at the end of October. It's a limited edition celebrating Scotland's Hogmanay festivals, which take place the last day of the year. And special attention was paid to the packaging, designed in collaboration with illustrator Erica Dorn and inspired by the historic fire rituals used to ring in the new year around the world. Okay, that's about it for getting us caught up on some of the latest whiskey news. We sincerely hope to be back next week with our regular live roundtable video cast, and we of course look forward to sharing the upcoming holidays with you all. This is Douglas Dunbar, the Whiskey Wizard, for the Whiskey Roundtable. Have a great weekend and a well above average next week, and we'll see you all again soon. Bye.